Okay, I know this pack is way too small for me, but my daughter and her boyfriend are going on a trip to Europe. This is the Osprey, I think this is the Far Point. So this is the boys pack. I got the Fairview. I'll do a review on those, but they didn't come with hip belts. And one of the cool things about these packs is you can put all the straps and stuff in and zip up a cover on it. So it really didn't make sense for them to put hip belts on, but I made some hip belts, hip belt pockets. And I will use these on all the packs, but they needed something in case they wanted just some snacks or things easy to get to. But they're a lot smaller than me, so all this will be a lot closer. So let me show you how I made those. All right, so this is the hip belt pouch kit, and it's using the Hyper D 300 fabric. You can get their kit in the Cuban fiber, or you can use these dimensions to do your own. It's a nice little kit. It comes with the fabric, which is this nice Hyper D, which is a nice, it's a nice weight. It's a nice waterproofing level. It's 14 by 9, and it's laser cut. So all the edges are all nicely cut and everything like that. You will be cutting it later. So you will need some kind of lighter to singe the edges back down. It also comes with the Urtec number 3 waterproof, and the zipper pulls to go with it, and then some cordage to make the pulls easier, and then some elastic that you use to put onto your hip belt. You don't have to do this. You can find something that's not elastic, which I'm thinking of doing maybe in the future on a project. This is stout webbing, and they didn't provide any webbing at all, but you'll see later on that I like to put a little loop wherever the zipper is, so you can have something to pull on to open the zippers. Just a little bit extra stuff. I don't like it to ever fail. And I also will be using putting snaps in instead of sewing when it comes to this elastic. So it's just another tool that you don't need. You can sew this on, but I'm going to be doing the snaps. First thing we're going to do is separate the zipper. And with these Urtec, this side here is waterproof. Normally you'd have the teeth facing up, but this one we want the teeth facing inward, so it's more waterproof. And so it's a little bit backwards from how you do things. So we're going to actually put the teeth in, shiny side of the zipper to the shiny side of the fabric, and we're going to sew it right down like that. You're going to leave a little bit off, a little tag, and that helps put the zipper pulls on. And so we're going to have the teeth facing up, shiny side down. Normally you put the teeth facing down, so when you folded that back, then you have the teeth facing up like this, but we want the teeth facing down. So we'll put the teeth in, teeth facing up, shiny side to shiny side, and then we'll get the finish edge that we want like that. It's waterproof. I'm going to take my regular foot off. Put my zipper foot. My zipper foot, I actually have 2 different zipper foots. So I'm going to put on this wider one on this side. And zipper feet have little grooves where your zipper goes. So my first time, I will there we go. And now we're going to put the zipper on this short side, the 9-inch side, not the 14-inch side. So 9-inch side. Shiny side down, teeth in and teeth up. Back it up a little bit. Now I've got a blunt head needle and not the sharp needle, because I'm going to be going through this fabric here, and I'm not setting the distance at all. And I'm just going to be riding it along that edge. So now we've got that sewn down, so when we turn it over, it's going to present that finished edge like that. So now we're going to sew down right here to kind of finish off that look. On my machine, what I do is I actually switch over to the other side of my zipper foot, and that allows me to get in close to the zipper. Back it up a little bit. So now that gives us that nice finished edge, nice and tight on the zipper itself. So we're going to get little water in there. So I'm going to do snaps, but if you're going to do the elastic, what I would recommend is I like to have you'll see later as I fold it over, the way I fold it over, you'll see later, but I'm going to put in some snaps at 3.5 inches and in 2. See, that's 3.5. Right there, actually. So I'm going to put a snap there. In 2, somewhere around there. And 3.5 inches. Then I'm going to be putting it on this backpack. This is the actual backpack that's going to go on. So I'm going to want a snap there and a snap right there. So that will be my lower snap. So it'll snap on tight onto this backpack. So now I'm going to use red, and I'm going to put the male. I'm going to put the male on the bag. And the reason why I'm doing this is actually because this will make the bag so I can just use them as luggage as well. And I can just take the straps off, and then, like, my daughter's going to Europe, and so she can take these and have them in her bag. So there I've got the male version on. I take my tool. Get it centered nice. Press down. And there we go. There's my male clip. And then I'm going to do the female, which is this one, onto the bungee or the elastic. Okay, so there I've got the snaps. So I've got them set up. So the belts come over the top, so that'll be nice and smooth on the top, and then snap round. That's pretty darn tight. So what's nice about this is that this elastic wears out pretty fast. So at that point, I can just make some new straps if they do wear out. There we go. Well, to the next stage and putting the zippers on. Now, if you buy these Urtec, you got to make sure you get the right zippers that go on them. And zippers have a little teeth thing that goes a certain way. And since these Urtec are waterproof, make sure you have the right zipper set. I'll just kind of get that, eyeball it close so it'll end up like that. Stick it in. Come on. There we go. Got that side on. You can make these tags a little bit longer. I probably should have. It would have made it easier for me, but it works. Okay, now we're going to zip these over a little bit. Turn it inside out. So we want all our stitching now to happen on the inside. Actually, I'm going to take these off for now. You can see these snaps, or these cam snaps, are pretty tough. Just put that inside out. And we'll zip these back up. This is when we kind of decide how deep a pocket we want to have. Now I measure 2 inches from the middle of the zipper, and that will determine how deep you want to make it. There's a box cut we'll be making in a sec. So now we're going to be cutting this and sewing this side, and this determines how deep your pocket can be. I like a 2 inch, so 2 inches to the middle of the zipper. But if you made it 3 inches, you can make it more short and squatty, or you can make it more narrow. But I think the 2 inches from the middle of the zipper, because we're going to do a little box cut at the end and box it out. That's what I like. Another thing I like is to have in line with the zipper some kind of a thing that I can pull on. And so I've got 2 4-inch pieces of webbing, kind of thin webbing, and I got to fold that in half, and that's going to go in right at the zipper. So when I turn that out, that'll actually be a loop. That'll be a loop that I can hold while I'm pulling my zipper. It's just something I like to have. It's not necessary though. You know, I've switched over to my normal sewing foot. I'm just going to ride right along there. Back it up a little bit. And sew it down. Get right to that zipper point. I'll slide in my pull. Drop my needle. Slide my little zipper pull thing in. Get that all lined up. Now I'm going to go over the zipper, so I'm going to go rather slow, and it's rather thick now. But you want to let the needle kind of find its way through the zipper like that. Good. I just need to trim this up a bit. And if you have a hot knife, great. You can use scissors. If you have good scissors, like I do. And we just hit it real quick with a light to singe it up a little bit. There we go. You know, to box the ends, you just kind of balloon the end out until we get like a triangle like that. You just kind of balloon it out. And I go down an inch. Make a little mark. Do that on the other side. Right there. Draw a line right like that. Also along that line. Now this is where you definitely want to make sure you go backwards, close to the edge you can. This is where, if you have like food and stuff in here, it'll collect in those little corners. And then right off the edge. Now we just cut that little corner off, like so. And I'll do that to the other 4 corners. Because I did those little corners. You could do those deeper, and that's like if you made that a deeper, say a 2-inch, that would just make a deeper pocket and a less long pocket. This is kind of what I was looking for in a hip belt, so you definitely and it works well with my hip belt straps. So now what we got to do is unzip the zippers again. Now we're going to just invert it. Push out all the little corners. Well, there you've got there you can see the little zipper pulls, so it makes it a little easier to pull. And there it is. Let's put it on the pack. I'm going to put on the little pull cords. We'll be done. All right, so here's the hip belt pack on the hip belt of my pack that I'm building. I'll put a link to the playlist on this whole thing. This is my waist belt. So it comes over the top. So I snap there and snap down there. That could easily be, these could be sewn on, but this way I can actually remove them completely. These cam snaps are really nice. They're really hard to detach. So they're good and stout, but this strap is stretch webbing wears out, it gets old. So there we go. We got the little ends, the little pulls. So that makes it easier to pull. There we go. Nice. All right, I'll see you out on the trail. Bye now.